Friends, first of all, I would like to say all the very best for your board exam. So the topic that today we are going to discuss, that is genetics. So this genetics, it is there in the science book of uh, class 10 standard as well as in class 12 standard. But today's discussion, this is for the students of class 10 standard. Okay, because as I have seen that so many students are there, they have little bit confusion regarding this chapter. So today we will be studying, we will be explaining different things in very simple way so that you can easily understand what is genetics. Clear? Okay, first of all, I'm going to write here an animal, that is lion. Okay, now this lion, as you know, this lion, it is sexually reproducing organism. Okay, sexually reproducing. This lion is sexually reproducing organism. Clear? So for the sexual reproduction, as we know that it needs two parent. One is male, another is female. Now when sexual reproduction takes place, what is formed? There will be formation of offspring. What will be formed? Offspring. Clear? Offspring. So these are parents. These are parents, and from parents, when they do sexual reproduction, what is formed? Offspring is formed. Now what is that offspring? That offspring is also a lion. Okay, this offspring is also a lion. Now the question is, if the parents are lion, then the offspring, that will also be lion. Okay, parents are lion and the offspring which is produced, that is also a lion. Now why do we call that offspring a lion? Because the offspring which is produced, it looks like lion. Okay, the offspring which is produced, that offspring, it looks like the parents. Okay, the parents are lions, so the offspring looks like their parents. Now the question is why the offspring which is produced, it looks like lion, looks like its parents? The answer is, in the parents, okay, there are some characters. Clear? In parents we can see some characters. Now what is that character? Okay, this character, for example, if I say fur color. Okay, fur color. Clear? Now the fur color, you have seen that in lion, the fur color, it is light brown. Okay, suppose the fur color of the parents, that is light brown. Okay, now the offspring which is produced, in that offspring also we find that the fur color of that offspring, that is also light brown. Okay, clear? So fur color of parents which are involved in the sexual reproduction, the fur color, that is light brown, and the offspring which is formed, that is also light brown. That means from here we can say that from the parents something is transferred, okay, to the offspring. Now what is transferred? Characters. What is transferred? Character. Okay, so the characters which are present in the parents, these characters are transferred from parents to the offspring. Okay, so this transfer of characters, so here you can write transfer of characters, transfer of characters from parents to offspring. Okay, transfer of characters from parents to offspring. The mechanism, here you can also add one thing, that is the mechanism of transfer of characters from parents to offspring. this is called heredity. Okay, this is called heredity. Clear? So one more time I'm saying that the parents are there which are involved in reproduction, and as a result what is formed? Offspring is formed. Now what happens here during this reproduction? The characters which are present in the parents, these characters get transferred from the parents to the offspring. So the mechanism of the transfer of characters from parents to offspring, this is called heredity, or you can say inheritance. Clear? Now the question is how the characters get transferred and what is that character? What actually this character is? Okay. So I am talking about the character. Character. Okay. Character. Now what is that character? And how is it transferred? How is it transferred? What is the mechanism? We know the mechanism of transfer is heredity. Now how is it transferred and what is that character? Okay, so let me explain it from the very basic things. Okay, so first of all I'm going to draw a cell. Okay, so suppose this is a cell. Okay, we know that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of all the living organism. Suppose this is a cell, and this cell it is eukaryotic cell. Suppose this is eukaryotic cell. Now as it is eukaryotic cell, so we know the feature of eukaryotic cell. Eu means advance, karyon means nucleus. So in that eukaryotic cell what will we get? We get a nucleus here. Okay, inside the cell there will be nucleus. Okay, and this is the cytoplasm of the cell. Okay, this is the cytoplasm of the cell, and that is the nucleus of the cell. Now in that nucleus something is present. So what is present in the nucleus? In that nucleus, there will be nucleoplasm is there in the nucleus. In that nucleoplasm we can see this kind of thread like structures. Okay, this kind of threads are there. Okay, thread like structure. Now if you study this thread, okay, suppose this is the thread like structure. Now what is that thread? This thread like structure, it is called chromatin fiber. Okay, this is called chromatin fiber. Clear? So inside the nucleus there will be some thread like structures, and these thread like structures are called chromatin fibers. Okay, now this chromatin fibers actually it looks like this. Okay, if you examine this chromatin fiber very minutely, okay, you can see these threads, it actually looks like this. Okay, look like this. This is the thread like structure. It actually looks like this. Okay, now what is these things that I have drawn, these things with the green color? What is that green color things? These are actually protein. So this is protein. Okay, this is protein. Clear? And this blue color, it is DNA. Okay, DNA. So DNA get associated with protein. Okay, so this is the chromatin fiber. It actually looks like this. Okay, there will be DNA which is associated with some proteins. Clear? Now we know that cell, it goes for division. Clear? We know cell divides. Now when that cell goes for division, okay, cell goes for division. Now during that cell division what will happen? The thread, it get condensed. Okay, what will happen? This thread actually it get folded. Okay, it get folded. Clear? There will be folding of this thread. Suppose if this is the thread. Okay, now what will happen? It will be condensed by folding. Okay, there will be folding of this thread like this, folding. Now when it get folded, it will be thick. Okay, previously this chromatin fiber, it was thin. Okay, it was thin fiber, thin, it was thin. But when there will be condensation, okay, that means folding, when there will be folding, it will become thick. Okay, and gradually it will become a thickest structure. Okay, and it looks like this thickened structure that will be formed, this is actually called, chromosome. Okay, this is actually called chromosome. Clear? Chromosome. So this chromosome, you can say this chromosome, it is made up of or composed of, chromosome is composed of, you can write DNA plus protein. Okay, as I have seen. Okay, as we have seen there, that DNA, okay, and protein. So this chromosome, it is made up of DNA and protein. Clear? Now let me discuss about this DNA little bit, very little bit. Okay, so DNA. So what is the full form of DNA? We know these things. The full form of DNA, it is deoxyribo. D full form of DNA, it is let me say these things. Full form of DNA, it is deoxyribo. Okay, deoxyribo nucleic acid. Okay, deoxyribonucleic acid. Clear? Deoxyribonucleic acid. Now let us understand these things little bit. So let me draw a DNA. Okay, a DNA. So this is a DNA. Okay, this is a DNA. In higher classes you will study that DNA, it is helical structure and it has two strands. One strand, it runs from 3 prime to 5 prime in that direction. Another is 5 prime to 3 prime direction. That means these two strands are anti-parallel in nature. Okay, these two strands are anti-parallel in nature. Why I have told this anti-parallel? Because the direction of one strand, it is 3 prime to 5 prime, and another strand's direction is 5 prime to 3 prime. So it is anti-parallel in nature. And we'll find some bonds there. These are actually hydrogen bonds. Okay, these are actually hydrogen bonds. Now why I am discussing this DNA? Because let me draw it again. DNA. Okay, so this is the DNA. Okay, this is the DNA. Now in that DNA, let me draw this first. So this is the DNA. Okay, now in that DNA, suppose from this portion to that part to this part. Okay, so this portion of DNA, okay, from this portion of DNA, suppose this portion of DNA from where protein is formed. What is formed? Protein. Okay, protein. Clear? Now the part of the DNA, the part of not the entire DNA. I'm not talking about the entire DNA. In DNA there will be some portions, some parts of the DNA from where functional protein, what is formed? Functional. Okay, functional protein is produced or formed. Okay, so the parts of the DNA from where functional protein is produced, functional protein is formed, that portion, that part of DNA, it is called gene. Okay, this is called gene. So we can say that the entire DNA is not a gene. Okay, in DNA there will be some parts from where protein will be formed. Clear? Protein will be formed. Functional protein. Clear? Now this functional protein, whenever there will be formation of this functional protein, this protein actually, whenever the protein is formed, the characters will be seen. What will be seen? The characters will be seen. Okay, for example, suppose as I have told that the fur color, Okay, the fur color, it is brown. So brown color, it is a pigment. Clear? So when this pigment will be formed? The pigment will be formed when there will be expression of the gene. Okay, when there will be expression of the gene. Okay, there will be expression of the gene. So one more time I am saying this thing, it is very important. So this is the DNA. Okay, let me do it very easily. This is the DNA. Okay, so 3 prime to 5 prime, 5 prime to 3 prime. Okay, this is the direction. Two strands are there. Okay, and these are the hydrogen bonds. This is the DNA. Okay, now suppose in that DNA, in this part of the DNA, okay, in that part, clear, from this portion, suppose from here to here, okay, here to here, this is the portion of the DNA. From that portion, okay, from that portion, or you can say that in that portion there will be information. What will be there? There will be information. There will be information. Information for what? There will be information for making a particular protein. Okay, now this part, this is considered as the gene. What I've told, this is considered as the gene. Clear? Now when there will be expression of this gene, when there will be expression of the gene, when the gene get expressed, what will be formed? There will be formation of functional, protein. Okay, as soon as the functional protein is produced, we can see the characters. Okay, we can see the characters. So the characters which are there in living organisms, these characters, these are actually determined, by the gene. And what is gene? Gene is the part of DNA from where the functional proteins are formed. Clear? Now already I have told that the chromosome, it is made up of DNA and protein. Clear? That means in that chromosome the DNA is present. Okay, because the chromosome is made up of DNA. Okay, so let me draw one chromosome again. So this is, suppose this is the chromosome. Okay, this is the chromosome. Now this chromosome is made up of DNA. In DNA there is gene. Okay, chromosome is made up of DNA. Okay, chromosome is made up of DNA. Okay, and in DNA, what is present? Gene is present. Okay, gene is present, because you know gene is actually the part of the DNA. Okay, that means from here you can say that in chromosome gene is present. Is it clear? In chromosome what is present? Gene is present. Suppose I have drawn this chromosome, and in that chromosome, in this region, a particular gene is present. Okay, what is present here? Gene is present. Is it clear? Because chromosome, it is made up of DNA. In DNA there is gene. So actually the gene is present in chromosome. Is it clear? Gene is present in chromosome. So the particular location in a chromosome where the gene is situated or gene is present, okay, there can be varieties of genes. Suppose this is a gene, suppose this is gene number 1, there is another gene. Okay, so this is, you can say it is gene number 2. There is suppose there is another gene, suppose you can say it is gene number 3. Okay, so in a chromosome multiple genes can present. Okay, so particular location where the gene is present, that is called the locus. Okay, this is called the locus of that gene. Okay, locus means you can say that this is the particular room. Okay, so if entire chromosome it is a house, so in a house there are different rooms are there. So suppose this is the room for gene 1, this is the room for gene 2. Okay, so genes are present in the chromosome. Is it clear? Now when there will be expression of the gene, what will be formed? Functional protein, and as soon as the functional protein is formed, you can see the character. Okay, so characters which are passed from parents to or transferred from parents to offspring, these characters are nothing but these are actually determined by the gene. Okay, because in that gene there will be information for making the protein, for for producing or for generating that character. Is it clear? Okay, now so we have a little bit understood about the gene. Okay, now this gene, so this is suppose a gene. Clear? Suppose I'm writing a name of a gene. Suppose a gene that determines a character, that determines a character, and that character, suppose that character is height. Okay, height. Clear? Height, it is a character. So, or a gene that suppose there is another gene, you can write, suppose there is another gene that determines, this gene determines a character, suppose the character is suppose eye color. Okay, eye color. Clear? Eye color. Okay, now see, the height, it is the character. Okay, height, it is the character. Okay, and eye color, okay, eye color, this is another character. Okay, so height is a character, eye color another character. Now in height, it can have alternative or alternate forms. So eye color, it can also have alternate forms. Clear? Okay, suppose height, it can be tall or it can be short. Okay, two alternate forms. Suppose there are two alternate forms. Okay, why two alternate forms, that will also be discussed. Okay, why I'm talking about two alternate forms. Okay, so this height, it is having two alternate forms. One is tall, another is short. Clear? Eye color, suppose one is black. Okay, black, and another alternate form, suppose this is brown. Okay, alternate forms. Clear? Now these characters, so height is the character, okay, eye color, it is the character. Clear? Character. Now the alternate forms of the character, these are called traits. Okay, these are called traits. Clear? The alternate forms of character, these are called trait. So tall, it is a trait. Okay, trait. Short, this is also a trait. Black, this is a trait. Brown, this is also trait. Understood? So character, it has alternate forms. How many alternate forms I have told? Two alternate forms. Okay, why two? It will be discussed little bit later. So two alternate forms are there. So trait, these alternate forms are called trait. Okay, so characters, you can conclude here like this. So character, it has alternate forms. That is called traits. Clear? Just like that, the gene. Okay, gene. Clear? So gene, it will also have alternate forms, because height means height determining gene. Eye color means eye color determining gene. So gene also having alternate forms. Clear? So alternate forms of gene, that is called allele. Okay, allele. So allele means alternate forms of a gene. Okay, alternate forms of a gene, that is called allele. So allele for black color, allele for brown color, allele for tall, allele for short. Okay, so alternate forms of gene, that is called allele. Understood? Now why I have told that a gene, it will have two alternate forms. Okay, try to understand this one. Suppose if I am talking about, now let me talk about the chromosome again. Okay, suppose in human we know that in human how many chromosomes are there. In human there are 46 chromosomes. Okay, 46 chromosomes. Clear? 46 chromosome means 23 pairs of chromosome. 23 pairs of chromosome. 23 pairs of chromosome. Now this 23 pairs of chromosome, suppose this is first pair, this is first pair. Okay, first pair. Now second pair, just like this, just like this, there will be 22nd pair. Okay, so this is first pair, first pair. Clear? So you can write this is 1 and this is 1 dash, this is 2, this is 2 dashed. Okay, just like this. If it is 22nd pair, okay, 22nd pair, so this will be 22, 22 dash. So how many chromosome? 44. Okay, 44. But I have told that in human 46 chromosomes are there. Okay, now in case of male, there will be one X, another Y, and in case of female there will be two X chromosome. Okay, so 44 plus either XY, that means 46, or either 44 plus XX, that is also 46. Okay, so we can see the pairs. Okay, clear? Now here you can see the number of set of chromosome, number of sets of chromosome, that is actually how many? Two sets of chromosome. How many? Two sets of chromosomes. Okay, two, like this. Okay, two sets of chromosome, number of sets of chromosome. Now this number of sets of chromosome, it is actually called ploidy. Okay, so what is ploidy? Ploidy means number of sets of chromosome, that is called ploidy. Okay, now if you write n, just like this, n means it is called haploid. Okay, and if you write 2n, that is called diploid. Okay, diploid. 2n means number of set of chromosome is 2. Okay, number of sets of chromosome, that is 2. That's why it is called diploid. Di. Okay, di means 2. Clear? So number of sets of chromosome 2, that is diploid. So you can write 2n equals to 46. Clear? 2n equals to 46. Clear? Now if it is 2n equals to 46, so n equals to, it will be 23. So haploid number of chromosome, that is 23, and diploid number of chromosome, that is 46. Now in our body, in our cell, the chromosomes, these are actually remains in a diploid number. Okay, so if it is a cell, okay, if it is a human cell, so in the nucleus of the human cell, okay, there will be 2n equals to, how many chromosomes will be there? 2n equals to 46. But if I am talking about gametes, okay, gametes, because you know during sexual reproduction gametes are formed. Gametes means in case of human it is sperm, okay, or ovum. In gametes we can find the 23 chromosome. How many chromosomes? 23. That means haploid number of chromosomes are present in the gametes. Clear? Okay, so this pair, suppose this is first pair of chromosome, first pair. Okay, first pair. So this is 1, another is 1 dash. Now in that pair, one chromosome, okay, one chromosome has come from the father, okay, and another chromosome has come from the mother. Okay, another chromosome has come from the mother. Okay, father, another chromosome has come from mother. Okay, one from father, another from mother. Clear? So this chromosome, it is called homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. Homologous chromosome. Clear? Okay. Now, in that homologous chromosome, as I have told that chromosome, in chromosome what is present? Gene is present. Okay. In that chromosome what is present? In chromosome gene is present. Okay. Now, suppose in that chromosome there is height determining gene. Which gene is there? What is the gene? This is height determining gene. Okay. If there is height determining gene in one, okay, in a pair, one number there is height determining gene, in the same locus in one dash, this is first pair, as I have told, this is first pair, in that one dash there will be also height determining gene, there will be also height determining gene. Clear? If there is height determining gene, there will also be height determining gene, same gene. Okay, but as I have told that the gene it has alternate forms. Okay, so height determining gene, it will also have alternate forms, and these alternate forms are called allele. Okay, these alternate forms are called allele. So here I told you that a gene, it has two alternate forms. Okay, so have you understood now why it has two alternate forms? Because we are diploid, to n. Okay, pairs are there. Okay, pair of chromosomes are there. Okay, so if there is one allele of a gene, there will be a allele of a gene. Clear? Now this allele, it can be, now see, this allele itself is a gene. Okay, allele itself it is a gene, alternate forms of gene, but it is a gene, na? Allele is also a gene, but it is alternate form of a gene. Okay, now what I've told, suppose height determining gene, what I've told, there are two alternate forms. Suppose there is tall, another is dwarf. Okay, tall, another is dwarf. Now try to understand another thing. Suppose this is a particular area. Okay, suppose this is entire India, you can say. Now there are lots of human beings are there. Okay, so population is very high in India. Now in that population, okay, suppose these are individuals and group of individuals, we know it is called population. Now in that human population, suppose in that human population, okay, the number of people having the tall allele, that is more. Okay, so it has tall allele. Okay, it has also tall allele. Okay, tall allele. Okay, that means more number of these alleles is present. Now in a population, the allele which is expressed more, okay, in a population, the allele which is expressed more, that allele, it is called dominant. Okay, dominant. Clear? This is called dominant. And the character or the allele or the trait, you can say the trait which is expressed less, okay, that is called recessive. Okay, this is called recessive. So if I write tall like this, capital T, okay, clear, capital T. So capital T for tall allele. Okay, so it is dominant. So in case of recessive, I can write with small letter. So capital letter, it is used to, to say it is dominant, and recessive, that means small letter, it is used to say it is recessive. Is it clear? Okay, so two alternate forms are there. One can be dominant, one can be recessive, like this. Okay, now again come to the chromosome. Now let me draw the chromosome again. Okay, so suppose this is homologous chromosome. Okay, suppose this is homologous chromosome, this is first chromosome, and this is one dash. Okay, this is first pair of chromosome. Now in that chromosome, suppose there is the allele, this allele, suppose it is capital T. Okay, which allele is there? Capital T, that means dominant allele there. And here also in one dash chromosome there is also capital T allele. Is it clear? There is capital T allele, there is also capital T allele. So you can write it like this, capital T, capital T. Okay. Now here you can see that both the allele are same. This is both are dominant. Okay. So here you can see that both the allele, both are dominant. That means both are same type of allele. This condition where you can see that only the dominant alleles are there. Okay, in the locus the dominant alleles are there in the 1 and 1 dash in both chromosome. Okay, in both homologous chromosome. Okay, so this condition, it is called the homozygous condition. Okay, this is called homozygous condition. Okay, this condition is called the homozygous condition. Now suppose, as I have told, that in a chromosome there can be multiple different types of genes can be there. Suppose there is another gene, this is suppose this is capital B allele. Okay, capital B allele, and there is small b allele. Okay, suppose there is one more gene is there. Suppose it is small d allele, there is also small d allele. Clear? Now this capital B small b, capital B small b, and here you can write small d small d. Clear? Now this condition and this condition, here you can see in this case again the both allele are same, but both are recessive. Both the alleles are recessive. Clear? Both the alleles are recessive. So this is also homozygous condition. Okay, this is also homozygous condition. This is also homozygous condition because both the alleles are same type. Okay, both are recessive but same na. One is small d, another is also small d. So that is called homozygous condition. Again there is homozygous condition. Now in this case, okay, so there is another case. In this case you can see one is capital B, that means it is dominant. Okay, but another allele, it is recessive. So these alleles are of different types, not the same type of alleles are present, different types. Okay, so if different types of alleles are there, this condition is called heterozygous condition. Okay, that is called hetero means different, heterozygous condition. Okay, so this condition is called the heterozygous condition. Is it clear? Okay, this condition is called the heterozygous condition. Okay, now I hope you have understood what is allele, what is homozygous condition, what is homologous chromosome. Okay, heterozygous condition, what is, I guess you have understood these things. Clear? Now another concept you have to understand, that is phenotype. One is phenotype. Okay, one is phenotype, another is genotype. Okay, genotype. Now what is phenotype? Suppose let me draw chromosome again. Okay, so in that homologous chromosome, suppose there is capital T. Now because of the presence of capital T, because of the presence of capital T, what will be the character of that individual? Okay, clear? What will be the character? Because in that individual cell, in the chromosome, the genes which is present, that height determining gene, both are in dominant. Okay, both are in dominant. So if both are in dominant, as I have told, that dominant character is expressed more, and if both are dominant, so what will be the character? The individual will be tall. Okay, the individual will be tall. Clear? So as the individual is tall, so you can see the height of that individual, that will be more. Is it clear? Understood? So if you look at that individual, you will see that individual, the height of the individual is, that individual is very tall. Okay, the individual is very tall. So this individual, that we can see the morphology, Okay, from the outside, you can, because you cannot see the DNA with your naked eye, you cannot see what type of allele is there. So from outside, if you see the individual, okay, suppose a person is standing in front of you and you can see the person is very tall, that is, you can see its morphology. Okay, his morphology you can see. So that outer morphological feature, that is actually called the phenotype. So the phenotype of that individual, that will be tall. Is it clear? The phenotype of that individual, that will be tall. Clear? Now what will be the genotype? Genotype means because of this tallness, which alleles are responsible. Now here, because of the tallness, the alleles that are responsible, that is capital T, capital T. So this allelic configuration, capital T, it is called the genotype. Is it clear? So phenotype is tall and genotype is the alleles. Which alleles are there? Capital T, capital T. Okay. And one more thing, you will remember that dominant, the allele which is dominant, or the trait, the dominant trait, you can consider this dominant trait as a boss. Okay, as a boss. Okay, that means suppose if a dominant trait is there or dominant allele is there with a recessive allele. Okay, so dominant allele, it is with a recessive allele, just like this in this case, capital B, small b. Okay, dominant allele, recessive allele, both are present. Okay, now both are the genes for height. Okay, both are height determining, this is height determining genes. Its allele is capital, one is capital T, another is small t. Now it is dominant, and it is recessive. If dominant and recessive alleles are together, then which character will be seen in the individual? The dominant character. Okay, dominant character will be expressed. Why? Because as I have already told, that the dominant trait, it is the boss. Okay, so it will dominate, it will suppress the expression of small t. Okay, it is going to suppress the expression of small t. So the individual that will have this kind of allelic configuration, okay, capital T, small t, that individual, that will also be tall. Is it clear? So this is, that individual is tall. Okay, capital T, this individual, capital T, that is also tall. Okay, but this tall, you can say it is pure tall. Okay, pure tall. Here in this case it will be pure tall, because both the alleles are same and it is homozygous condition. But here it will also be tall, but it will be called hybrid tall. Okay, it will be called hybrid tall, because one is dominant, another is recessive. That means which condition it is? It is heterozygous condition. Clear? So these are some basic things you have to know if you want to study genetics. Okay, so from the beginning, that I have already told, that what is genetics? Genetics nothing, it is just a mechanism by which the characters which are present in the parents, that get transferred to the offspring. Okay, what is characters? That I have told, characters are nothing but it is the expression of gene. Okay, so what is gene? Gene is the part of DNA from where the functional protein is formed. Okay, so DNA and protein, this actually form chromosome. Chromosome is made up of DNA and protein. Okay, now in that DNA there will be, some parts of the DNA, there will be information of that particular character. So when that information, that gene, that will be expressed, that particular protein will be formed, and because of the formation of that particular protein, we can see what kind of characters will be seen. Okay, so these are some basic things that we need to know when you are going to study genetics. Okay, so in my next video I'll discuss that the father of genetics, that means Gregor Johann Mendel, how he has shown experimentally, he has proved that how these characters get transferred from a parent to offspring. Okay, so up to this you will study. So in my next video I will discuss some more about the genetics that will be helpful for your upcoming exam. Okay, thank you so much.